is the story of unhappy Kevin. Unhappy Kevin. Kevin and his parents moved to a new town, but Kevin sat there thinking with nothing more than a frown. New neighborhood, new bus, new school, what a fuss. Kevin was unhappy as could be. He flopped on the floor so his parents would see.
With no friends at my side, how could I do this alone?
He pouted once more and let out a moan. But his parents were busy, so busy. One thing would quickly turn into four. Before Kevin knew it, they ran out the door. Being Halloween made it hurt all the more. No costume for Kevin and no time, that's for sure. Unhappy Kevin picked himself off the floor and thought proudly,
I've done this before.
He searched through the house for something to wear, a costume that he would be happy to share. But unhappy Kevin had nothing to pair. Through cupboards and closets, all he could find was his mother's raincoat that went past his behind. An alarm clock glued onto a sock. Yuck. And a top hat so old it sprouted some mold. Ew. Unhappy Kevin let out a big sigh, put on his costume and gave it a try. As he walked down the street, he saw a group of kids he'd like to meet. So he reached out his hand and started to wave. But the other children didn't seem so confident and brave. When suddenly the clock on his hat started to ring. Red blinking zeros popped up in the instant, but glowing red eyes is what looked from a distance. The kids screamed in horror. Oh yes, the opposite of sing. Kevin jumped in a panic and his cord started to swing. The kids yell,
It has a tail! It's a monster! What is that thing?
Kevin, now frightened, runs into the trees, stumbling on a root, falling to his knees. Before Kevin could cry, he heard a noise in the breeze. Inching closer and closer, Kevin's body would freeze. Until it got so close, Kevin closed his eyes and said,
No, please.
But when he opened his eyes, all he could see was his little puppy licking him with glee. Unhappy Kevin finally was not alone. He picked up the pup and started to walk home. Coming out of the forest, he heard whispers turn to chatter. It was the kids and a police officer speaking on the matter.
He had glowing red eyes.
The pirate replies,
A long, scary tail.
Said the blue whale.
And he ate my dog and ran into the fog.
The spaceman complained. Poor unhappy Kevin ran out to explain. He didn't know what to say, so he started with his name.
Hey, I'm Kevin, and I'm only 7. I love Halloween, but today has been no heaven. I made this myself, from things off the shelf. I waved to say hi, but I'm timid and shy. That's when my hat made a sound, and I fell to the ground. I was scared too, until I met this friendly little hound. So please, I'm no monster. Don't send me to the pound.
The officer laughed and sent them on their way to trick or treat, to have fun, to be kids and go play. Kevin had a blast and came home with a buffet.
Wow.
He learned a valuable lesson that very single day. No matter where you live in this world, it's a small price to pay. If you put yourself out, a friend can be made. Kevin was happy, and happy was Kevin. The end.